Well, yesterday in Washington, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. addressed an often divisive topic within the scientific community, and that would be the cause of autism in children. RFK Jr. making the following remarks at a news conference.
This is a preventable disease. We know it's an environmental exposure. It has to be. Genes do not cause epidemics. They can provide a vulnerability. You need an environmental toxin. Within 3 weeks, and probably we're hoping in 2 weeks, we're going to announce a series of new studies to identify precisely what the environmental toxins are that are causing it. This has not been done before. And we're going to do it in a thorough and comprehensive way, and we're going to get back to with an answer to the American people very, very quickly. We're going to follow the science no matter what it says, and we will have some of the answers by September.
And among those who support RFK's push to determine the cause of autism is Jillian Michaels, the host of the Keeping It Real podcast, joining us here. Jillian, always good to see you. So RFK, the secretary, they're pledging that he will have some answers by September. It's ambitious, but what are your thoughts? Are you encouraged by that someone here that is within the health department, the secretary from this administration, actually wants to find out more about autism, the cause of autism? Your thoughts there?
Very much so. Listen, can there be a genetic predisposition? Of course there can. But what he's saying is, if genes load the gun, it's something environmental that is pulling the trigger, and he wants to get to the bottom of what that is. Autism has skyrocketed over the past 2 decades. It used to be 1 in 50 20 years ago. Now it's 1 in 31 kids. And it's crazy that not everyone is elated about the fact that he's trying to get to the bottom of this. I, for one, am very happy with what he's been doing, and I can't wait to see the results.
Indeed, just more information, right? Like, let's find out. Let's hear what he finds. That would be great.
Exactly.
That would be
we
wonderful.
Should be asking questions.
Yeah.
You're spot on. And I think we should be outraged that no one has done this previously.
Right.
That's where we should be really upset, is why hasn't this been done before? The fact that it's being done now, and I've heard the top criticism of, he's getting people's hopes up that we can have this by September, and that's not realistic. Who cares?
Sure.
If it's 6 months later, who cares? The key is that we're looking for answers, and we should be really happy about that, in my opinion.
No, I agree. The New York Times, of course, has a different viewpoint, so I'll just share what was published recently. Writing, the scientists have not ruled out the possibility that both genes and environmental factors could influence whether a child develops autism. Still, there is no evidence to suggest that autism can be avoided, and researchers immediately criticized that suggestion. Experts said there's a legitimate research to be done examining potential environmental factors, but recoiled at Mr. Kennedy's apparent all-or-nothing approach, which seemed to discount entirely the merits of continuing to study the genetic underpinnings of the condition. Jillian, just your thoughts there and their viewpoint.
Absolutely. I liken this to skyrocketing rates of obesity and how the drug companies love to push on the public that obesity is genetic and it's a disease, despite the fact that in 2013, all of the experts on a panel within the American Medical Association voted that it wasn't, in fact, a disease and that it was a predisposition. So when you look at what has triggered skyrocketing rates of obesity, arguably it's a more sedentary lifestyle and a huge amount of ultra-processed food. How come 20 years ago, right, if this is genetic, how come 20 years ago it was 1 in 50 kids and now it's 1 in 31? That's a quantum leap for genetics. So wouldn't the argument be, how do we get back to where we were 20 years ago and arguably 50 years ago? What is behind the skyrocketing rates? It can't just be genes. It doesn't work that way.